good afternoon. I'm with my husband Ian. Before I get into my tutorial today, which is going to be, as I've been talking to you about my hexagonal little table topper here, I'll show you some more that I've done in depth. I wanted to have Ian announce the winners of my little bags here. Now, if you're not familiar with what I do with these, I had made these little bags, and you had seen the full tutorial on my Truelove Quilts for You channel right here. But what happens is I have a Patreon account, and there's lovely people who contribute money, funds to me every month on an ongoing basis, $1 a month, $5 a month, however much, into my Patreon account, and that entitles them to get exclusive videos that I do just for my patrons. But this month, what I was doing is I had made these little bags here, the triple zippered bags. I made quite a few of them. These were sort of my first ones, but I thought I would show everybody my bags, but just 3 winners on my patrons. My patrons are going to be winning these 3 bags. That happens every month. When I do a video, I choose someone who is my patron, and they actually receive the project that I've made. Just small little projects, little bags, little things. So my husband Ian, I have 3 bags here, and my husband is now going to tell the winners what their names are. I will also be putting this obviously up on my Patreon exclusively for them, but the winners of, say, the gray one is
Pamela Galusha.
Pamela Galusha. You are going to be winning this little bag here. If you've seen me, you saw me. You saw me making this, and then the next one. This is so pretty. This is again, if you follow the tutorials on these, this one I did with the bias binding. The second one is going to be winging its way to
Arna Safar.
Arna Safar. You are winning this one. This was the largest one I did, and then this one, the lovely sort of shabby chic one, will be going to
Becca Shiflett.
Becca, you got this one, my lovely little brown, little shabby chic one. So that's it. So we have Becca, Arna, and Pamela. We appreciate your Patron patrons on my Patreon account. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Ian.
Happy days.
Thank you very much. You want to hold up you want to stay here or go?
What do you think? Okay.
Okay. Oh, I will tell you, next month, before I get into my tutorial, next month, or I did it last month and did it a few weeks, I'm going to be announcing the winners on my patrons of these little, this is the tutorial I did. This is a little handy dandy cell phone charging. Are you?
I think you could put these just beside the outlets and have your corded. Oh, is it?
Oh,
really? You put your cell phone in there to be charged.
Yeah, you put your charging block in there, and then you put your cell phone or your device, and all of the cords fit in. So I did the tutorial on this little parcel here last month, and so I will be announcing on my patrons winners of these 2. So that's that one. But for this month, for this tutorial to follow, I think you had seen this. You have to hold it up pretty good. This table topper. This is the hexagonal quilt as you go table topper. Okay, this one I had made a while ago. It's completely reversible, and yet you want to turn it around? It's different on the back than it is on the front because of the way it's constructed. Okay, so there's that one. And I'm going to show you in my following tutorial exactly the templates that you need to make this, like the small, medium, and large. Now this one I had made, this little runner, it's actually hanging on my door, multicolor, wonderful scrappy runner here. I show you, it's fully batted, it's fully quilted, so this is the frame, which are all different colors. and then on the other side, it's a solid. You can make these as big or as small as you want. Now, the tutorial that I have to follow, thank you, the tutorial I have to follow is this little one. It's just a little, just to dip your toe in the water of making these, how I made this little, whatever it is. What is it?
I don't know.
What would you use it?
What would you call it?
I don't know. What do you want to use it for?
Well, you put your beautiful vase of flowers.
Yeah, a beautiful vase of flowers or something. But this one, if you can see, the frame is the same, and so the backing is all the same. So I'm going to explain that in the tutorial to follow. This is my little tutorial on my hexagonal table topper. You can make them as big or small as you want, and I will be putting the links to where I got the actual templates. You do need to purchase that. You know I'm not all about purchasing rulers and templates, but you do need that for this project here. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope that Pamela, Arna, and Becca will be pleased with their little bag that I'm going to be sending them. And again, if you're not aware of that, you can go over and see me on my Patreon, www.patreon.com/JeanTruelove123. That's for my patrons, but this is our tutorial for everybody today.
Can't wait.
I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much, Ian.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. See ya. The little quilt table topper that I have made out of these 7 little charm squares, and my template to make the smaller hexagon. Now, I wanted to, before I get into that tutorial, which is dead easy, I just wanted to share with you exactly what I have used for different things that I have made. Now, this quilt that I'm going to be making, the little tiny table topper that I've showed you, is made from this, hopefully you can see that, it's made from that template there, and this little hexagon that goes in the middle. Now this is called Quilt Shapes by Quilt Sense, developed by quilting expert Marty Mitchell. Okay, it comes with hexagons on 60-degree triangles, 3 different sizes. Okay, I'm not quite sure how to do oh yeah, it tells you here how to do these hexagons, I mean the triangles here. I haven't done that. I have merely used the templates for this quilt, for this little runner here. Now, I'm going to be using the 2 larger templates here, all right, for this. Oh, sorry, I'm not using that. I'm using the larger one and this smaller one. As you can see, it nests. It's one, hopefully you can see that. Let me just see if I can put it on a piece of card. Maybe that's a little bit better. 1, 2, 3. This is how it comes, okay? I am using these 2. All right, I'm using this middle one because it fits nicely on a 5-inch square. This outside frame I'm going to be needing yardage for. Not a lot for this little bit, but I'll show you that. So for my little topper that you've already seen, that is what I'm using. But I did want to share with you just a few other things, just for your information. Again, that's Quilt Shapes by Marty Mitchell. This middle one here that I have, this middle template, and the smaller one, I just wanted to show you the size of the hexagon that makes. this here, that there, and that little shape there makes a finished hexagon. I put some padding in it, some batting in it, so that's completely finished. That makes that size, this size hexagon, which is what, 2.5 inches? Yeah, something like that, 2.5 inches. Does it say that? Yeah, something like that. Or 1 inch across here. Yeah, this is 1 inch, 1 inch, yeah. So that template right there makes this size here. That's those from that manufacturer. Now, I wanted to show you, and I did show you in the beginning, my large table topper that had 7. That's going to be constructed exactly the same as my little one that I'm showing you, but I used 2 different fabrics. This one's I'm using a few more different fabrics. I showed you my long runner also in the beginning, and then my one that's just a very long one. This is the one that you saw, my table runner. Now this has been used. This is a Martelli template and frame. And it says 5'5", so I think that's the 5 inches on the side, okay? Now, I cut out of this piece here, I cut a solid of this backing. I cut a solid out of that. Obviously, it was out here. And then when you turn it over into the red, which is cut out of this one, it makes this size. So that if you go on Martelli and it says 5, that's the size. That's a fairly large one. You don't need a heck of a lot to make a decent sized runner, as a table topper, as you saw. Now again, I wanted to show you this Martelli I quite like. I just cut this out here, and as you can see, I'm going to be cutting out a frame for this one. But I cut out this, and as you can see, I centered that little frame on my fabric with all of my roses. There's rose, 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 rose. Obviously, to be able to fussy cut, I just centered that onto the fussy, I centered this onto my fabric. I isolated my image, and then what you do is you put this inside template onto the fabric. Once you've established that your image is where you want it, you put this on, you take this off, and then you cut, and you have your fussy cut image right there. Now that was just for demonstration, but if I wanted to get either perhaps a red or even a white, just keep it real nice and light, I will cut a piece this size. I wanted to show you though why I absolutely love the Martelli items here. Now I've just pulled two scraps here from my pile, and I want to make a blue frame with a pinkish inside, okay? So what I'm going to do is this, and this is 2.5. I don't know what that means. That says 2.5. So I guess it's 2.5 here, yeah. So what I'm going to do, this doesn't have this grippy stuff on it, but I'm going to cut a piece. I'm going to cut this just along here. It doesn't cut the template. It cuts it, because it's nice and solid. It's not like cutting cardboard or anything, because you can make these out of cardboard, absolutely. But I always end up slicing the cardboard when I used to do it. That's not perfect, but I want to show you absolutely what is perfect and why Martelli is a wonderful, wonderful brand to get if you're going to be doing a lot of cutting. So I've cut that bit right there, okay? That's going to be my outside bit. I can put that aside. Now, my inside bit is this piece of pink here. I'm just going to lay that on my fabric here, okay? That's laid on my fabric. Now, I just want you to see, this thing grabs, this Martelli thing grabs. Okay, so I'm just going to cut, turn, cut, turn, cut, turn, cut, turn, turn, turn. That doesn't go anywhere. This piece of fabric, this template with this wonder stuff on the back, it is amazing product. It cuts, and I have cut like 10 pieces of fabric. Once that's on your fabric, your fabric doesn't shift. your fabric doesn't shift. This one does a bit because it doesn't have that. This is more just for, well, it is for cutting, but this is just more for isolating perhaps a fussy cut image and being careful to cut your back. But this one here, again, if you're doing these by hand and you need to cut out a million pieces, hexagons, oh my word, look at that. That is just an amazing, it's amazing. All Martelli cutting mats come with this special grippy, I don't know if it's their formula or what. Absolutely fantastic. Now I will be cutting from this also. I will be cutting all my batting, and it's like boom, 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 2 seconds to cut my batting. Now, what you do with this, and I'll show you in depth, but the idea is you have your outside frame, you have your batting, which is exactly this size, and then you turn it over and you stitch it down. I will be showing you how I do that. I don't use any pins. Now, a lot of people use pins, which is awesome, but I don't find it necessary to use pins. So now what I'm going to be doing is, because this doesn't have the grippy thing, I'm only going to be trying to cut 2 of my charm squares. I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to cut these out, making sure so I'm following the grain there. And I do have, and I'm going to show you, I do have a rotating mat that I actually made, and it would make this an awfully lot easier. And I'm going to go share with you. I'm going to go get it right after I cut this. As you see, it doesn't hold the fabric as well as the Martelli, but these are awesome. And these, you're not going to be messing up. You're not going to be cutting this template or anything. I'm going to go show you what, just as an aside, my cutlery. Now, if any of you had been watching before, you had seen this. I know that rotary cutting mats can be expensive. So what I had gotten a really heavy duty, look at that, like a 1970s Lazy Susan from the thrift store. I think it was just a couple of dollars. And then I had an old cutting mat that had gotten a little bit warped. This is one of my first mats. So what I did is not real careful, but it's fine. I cut a circle. I sort of just marked my mat, and I cut a circle, and then I super glued it down to the Lazy Susan. So there you go. I have a cutting mat. So I'll just show you how much easier it is. I'll cut 3 of these now. If you have a rotating mat, I just find it so much easier to shift things. So instead of me shifting my fabric, I just shift the table. I just shift my mat here. I can hold on to my template. My template and my fabric have not moved in the least, and there you go. And I have my pieces cut out. So that's just a little hint if you want to, like, there you go. There's my hexagons. I only have a couple more. So if you, by all means, you see a Lazy Susan at the thrift store, if you have one in your garage and you don't know what to do with it, you're going to put it out in your yard sale, just get it out. Get a mat. And I mean, my goodness, it really makes cutting fiddly little bits much easier. So now I'm going to go over and I'm going to cut out. I'm going to finish cutting these, and I'm going to go get my batting pieces, and I'm going to be cutting 7 pieces of my batting, just my warm and natural batting, and I'm going to cut 7 pieces this size. So as you can see, I've cut out my 7 hexagons, and I literally, who of us doesn't have a piece of scrap batting like this? Now I have found, if you do your Lazy Susan, I find keeping your project in the middle helps. So you're not all the way over, or it's not real close to you. And so I just hold my template like this, and this is only 2 pieces of batting. This is 2 pieces of batting here that I'm doing. You probably maybe could do a little bit more, but I'm just going to be doing two at a time of my batting. Actually, this isn't warm and natural. This is a fusible batting. So I'm going to cut 5 more of this batting. Now I've cut my 7 pieces of batting. and my 7 charm squares. And the last thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using, I have to cut 7 of this frame out of my fabric. I'm using a black and white dot. Now, you have to understand that if you use the same fabric on all of your pieces to get the frame around it, your backing will be exactly the same. So my backing for my little runner here, my little topper, is going to be exactly the same around the back. If you start to use different fabrics, if you wanted to use this fabric and another fabric for your frames, as I have shown you on my long runner that's hanging on my door, then your backing will be just as diverse as your front. But I've taken a piece that I've used this fabric before. It's not the width of the fabric, so I've just folded into 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can see my piece here, right here. So I'm doing 4 at a time, and let me just see they're together. And again, I'm sort of, if you're using this Lazy Susan method, I'm sort of in the middle of my Lazy Susan, just holding my template here and then turning my Lazy Susan. So much easier. Look at that. Holding my template. And there, just slightly, but that is perfect. And there you go. There are 4 pieces cut already. I'm just going to cut the other 3, and then we have all of our bits to make our little table topper. So I'm at my machine, and I have all my bits to the ready, and you know I like to have everything sort of right here. By all means, you can put it to the side of your machine. But I'm going to be taking my back piece, which is this little black and white dot, and with the wrong side, the pretty side down on my board, I'm going to take the right side, the wrong side facing me. I'm going to take my template here. There's my template, and I'm going to just center it, or make it exactly like I cut it. Okay, this is exactly how I cut it, right? Okay, now I'm going to take a piece of my batting, and I'm going to place it exactly in there where I cut my batting from on the other template. Now I'm going to take one of my fat quarters here that I cut, making sure this doesn't shift, and I'm going to place that right on top of my batting. Now, where's a pin? Okay, well, so here are my pins. So without shifting this or anything and holding that there, I'm just going to be putting 2 pins on all three layers there, right in the middle, just to secure the 3 layers. Then I'm going to lift up my little template there and put that to the side for now. Okay, so I have this here with a pin. Okay, now what I'm going to be doing is, a lot of people like to pin this. I don't find it necessary, but by all means, if you want to pin it and then iron it, by all means you can do that. I find it unnecessary. This is nice, and this is as it's supposed to be. So what I do is you turn over your outside frame once, and then you turn it over again, so that this piece here, your frame here, is filling. Turn it in and then turn it again. The batting and your inside fabric is filling. The batting goes right to the edge of the frame. So then I'm going to start it right at the top, needle down, press the foot down, and then I'm going to stitch it. You're stitching it right along the edge there. And this is a lovely way, if you wanted to, you can use a beautiful decorative stitch. You know those million stitches that you have on your computerized sewing machine? This would be an awesome way to do a real pretty stitch. I'm just using a straight stitch because I'm using my Juki right now. I'm using my Juki, my QVP Mini, but when I go to attach them, I have to change my machines because this is just a straight stitch. So now I'm going down to about an inch away from where it's rolled. And what I'm going to be doing, hopefully my fingers are in the way, I'm just going to turn it again, and there's my sort of mitered corner. Again, by all means, if you want to, now I just sort of go into that miter there, my needle down, and I turn. And it's rolled once, and it's rolled twice. And the way it's cut, it will always make the same size frame. About an inch or so, I come over, I fold and fold up. Again, by all means, and I just go to the edge of that little miter right there, to that point, I roll it, I fold it, I roll it. Go slowly. Needle up, needle down, press the foot up, fold. And just the sheer way the manufacturer has made the hexagons, and I'm going right into that point there. Let me get rid of this here. Just a sheer fact that I said the manufacturer has made it. You're creating a little mitered corner there, your frame. So you fold it in. Oops, I went a little bit far, so then I have to sort of just tuck it under that needle. Put that needle down, just do one, there you go. I suggest keeping it about an inch away so you have room to make your turning here. There you go. As you can see, the little ones, I'm going to take these pins out because it's already secured. The little ones were fiddly to do. The bigger ones are much, much easier to do. But now, so I've come here, and this is where I'm going to finish it. So now what I do is I just have to turn over both ends, you see? And then turn it up again. Again, by all means, you can use clips, you can use pins, but I find once you come to it, you have to quickly take them out anyway. And then I just go right to the end, and I do take a couple of back stitches to secure that miter there. I do not find it necessary. I do not find it necessary to go and secure. There's a little thread there. I do not find it necessary to secure these miters. Once it's sewn together, it's sewn together. And there you have, that's my backing. There you have a nice little finished, padded, quilted as I went, because this is small. Now, the larger ones, if you wanted to do an echo stitch, which I will show you on my other one, which I did, or you could do a flower, a free motion quilting stitch. So you can, by all means. But for me, it's only that far apart. When I put it together, it's already quilted. It's done. So now my next thing, I'm going to finish the other 6 of them, and then I'll show you on my other machine how I attach them together and make my little runner, my table topper. I'm finished making my little hexagons, just 7 of them for this little project, and I have ironed them. They're all little quilted. Now, what do you see here? These could be coasters. You can make four coasters, 6 coasters in darker colors if you wanted. A little packet for like a little office present. There's 6 lovely little coasters for somebody, a little present there. Or if you wanted to just start making a million of these, you can just start laying them out however you wish, and then start sewing them together. I'm going to go over to my machine, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to sew these together. Okay? Now, there's the beginnings of a little quilt. But now what I'm going to do is I make 7 of these. This is just like, again, a little present. I'm going to figure out, let's see what I have here. I just pulled these random. I have 2 two red ones, maybe I'll do it that way, and then I have a yellow one in the middle. Now this is to make a little runner here, and then I have a blue and a lavender. Look how that's coming together, and then I have two greens down there. So there, voila. Look at that. Sweet, sweet little beginnings of a quilt, a bigger topper, and all sorts of lovely little things. Now, if I wanted to, I think I'm going to change it up. I think I'm going to have it a little bit more random. I think I'll have I think I'll have it like that. So it's just slightly more random. Yeah, that's it. Maybe, I'm overthinking this. Don't overthink it. Now I want that up there, and I want that there. Again, don't overthink this, but there you go. Now, obviously, because I'm not perfect and nothing is perfect, this is basically my layout. I'm going to go take that over to my my sewing machine there and put it next to my sewing machine. Now, because I'm not perfect, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be attaching these these edges together here. Okay, I'm going to be using a zigzag stitch. Now, you will see this is pretty okay, but some of them will be better. Some of the sides will fit a little bit better. You see that? Maybe that side, you're going to start by sewing, forget these, you're going to start by sewing two of them together, the top two, just with a zigzag. And then as you go along, I might even change up the color. I know I do want the yellow in the middle. But what we're going to do is we're going to sew this row by row, okay? We're going to sew that row together. That's the top row. In this little table topper, we're going to then sew these two together. That makes one row. And then we're going to sew the bottom row together, okay? So we're going to be sewing 1, 2, 3, 4 seams. That's it, 4 zigzagged seams to put this together. And then what we do is these rows will slot together. And that's when you come back and you zigzag here, pivot, that one, pivot, and then that one. And then you finish up by doing that. But I'll take you over to my machine and I'll show you. I'm over at my brother's sewing machine. And what I've done is, because this is a computerized machine, what I've done is I've messed about with the zigzag stitch that I want to be using to stitch together my my hexagons here. And I've messed about. I'm doing a wider. This is set. Every machine is different. This is 5.0, and the length is 1.0. I just did it on a scrap bit of fabric, and I quite like. That was a little bit too wide apart, so I quite like that one. You can't really see, but again, I can see that that is a nice zigzag stitch. So that is the one. Oops. I keep hitting the thing. That is the one I'm going to be using. And so now what we do is I'm just going to be putting these together. Let's see if I get it right there. I'm going to be putting these together. Again, I find the side, if that one might be a little bit long, just find the side that you think is the best. I like that one right there. And I'm just going to put my needle down. I keep hitting that. Put my needle down there. And hold these two threads so I don't get a bird's nest. Just to start it. There you go. Just to start it out. Sort of hold the fabric so it almost back stitches on itself. And you're not overlapping them. You're just literally butting the two sides together, and then each bit of the zigzag is catching. And just hold that, and then yeah, and cut that. I do have an automatic cutter. I never use it. So there are my two pieces together. Now take my second row. I'm going to reach around my tripod. Oh, which was it? Oh, I got a little bit messed up. Never mind. So now I'm going to sew these two together. Again, to eliminate those nasty bird's nests on something, you just hold your thread towards the back of your machine. Just hold it, and you won't ever get those nasty threads. There you go. And then of course a zigzag I'm catching. Hopefully you can see that. I'm catching both edges. without overlapping. So easy. Just holding it. I'm using my auto lifter, and I probably shouldn't because it's not necessary, but never mind. So I don't like that one. That one's a good one. That one's a good one there. Again, I'll just hold my threads there. So I start a hair in. I just start a hair in. I can go back. And then again, it's just right next to each other. Make sure you don't overlap them. I think I do a back stitch. There you go. Oops. I mean, you can see how quickly this works up. Like, unbelievable. Look at that. Look at that. Actually, I'll do this then. I won't bore you with the second or the third row. I'll put this row on here. So now it's sort of like some of it is sort of messed. Let me see if that works better. No, I like that. That's fine. You just sort of have to, some of it you sort of have to smush together, but that's fine. You won't see it from a distance. It's great. So I'm going to put my needle, I'm going to put my thing down, starting it slightly in, and then back stitch. And then you just sort of with your fingers, my hands are in the way here, just sort of with your hands, just push them together like that. So the edges meet. You come to that point. Needle down. Now this is where my presser foot or lifter upper is good, because I don't need to use my hands. I just squeeze those bits together. Needle down, presser foot up. Now if you were doing a whole quilt like this, well, you just do a whole quilt like this. It's just row after row after row. Just make sure you don't overlap them. Just sort of push them where they should go. Like that, and then like that. Get it started. And again, I iron everything because it gets a bit roughed up. So there's my second row. Look how quickly. Look how quickly. Like, oh my word, right? Oh, it's so sweet. And then I'll do my last two rows. I'm going to put my red over there. Put that up there. Put them together. Sometimes I do the backs, sometimes I just hold it. And then I'll just attach these. So you can see how quickly the sweet, look at that, this sweet little runner topper. You can make a big one, make them, I did my one that I showed you in the beginning. Same exact, 7 of them, same exact principle, exactly the same principle, except it was larger. Now I don't, oops, my bobbins run out. Okay, well, you get the idea. I don't celebrate Christmas, but I don't celebrate the traditional holidays, but I have seen that this, if you left an opening there, if you left an opening here, and you made it, this would make a tree skirt. You could make a tree skirt out of this if you made it even larger. I've seen that done. Again, this has been done 1,000 times. But there's my bobbin ran out. But there's my little topper. I'll have shown you it when it's all done and pressed. I'll iron it, quilt as you go. It's all quilted. And again, the back is exactly the same. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial of my little hexagon topper. And again, I'll put the links down below where you can find the templates. You do need templates for this one. All right, folks. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.